still coaching?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you stay? Where you at? Where you at? The what? Lovejoy?
Nah, I'm at Stockbridge. Nah, I was at Eagles Landing.
Okay, gotcha. Yo, what's good? What's good, fellas? Hey, man, I think we are really live this time, man. So apologies to everybody for the technical difficulties, but we here now, man. We here now, man. Salute to the guys. To my man Uwap, my man Big Bucks, always joining the crew, man. So, hey, man, we got a fresh face here, man. We got my guy Uwap, my guy Outlaw Uwap, veteran in the game. He's been doing this for years. My brother from another, like I said, we everything but blood brothers, So,
For sure.
we really been down in this life thing, Black fathers. I really promote that, but also, man, a guy that's really doing this thing, in the high school coaching ranks, a wide receiver coach out here, tutoring the kids, mentoring the kids. So we not only talking football, we actually live in football. So I'm glad to bring my guy up onto the scene, onto the show. So welcome my brother Uwap, man. Let the folks know what you got going on, man. Everybody give my man Uwap a round of applause, baby.
Hey, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. First and foremost, I just want to, say thank you, man, for having me on the show. You know what I'm saying? Definitely honored to be on the show. You done been on my show so many times. I can't even name how many times you've been on my show. You damn near, you are an extended member of the show. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for having me, dog, for sure, man. But everybody, man, it's your boy Outlaw Uwap. I'm most notably known for the Thoughtful Narcissist podcast. You know what I'm saying? Been doing that thing for a long time with my co-host Rhetoric. You can check us out anywhere, any podcast streaming, YouTube, Thoughtful Narcissist podcast, TTNP on Instagram. My Instagram is right here at the bottom, Outlaw Uwap. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you want to tap in, do some work, whatever. you know, I do a lot of different things, but right now we here to talk about sports. So we get into this sports, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, you see me go Dogs, you know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna represent. You know what I'm saying? You know,
we not already, bro. Out the gate.
Nah, cause us three, we
go out the gate, bro.
Back. Us three go way back with the college talk. You know what I'm saying? But when we all worked together, and Florida State was doing their thing around that time, and both of y'all Florida State fans, I used to get a lot of flack. Oh, Georgia ain't gonna never win the championship. Georgia ain't going this. Georgia ain't going that. And now, you know what I'm saying? It's funny how the table turned, baby. You know, that's all I'm saying. It's funny how the table turned, man.
We ain't even on that type of time, brother.
I'm just saying, bro. I gotta get it off.
We show y'all love. It's all love, brother.
Appreciate it.
Y'all
I appreciate it.
It's all love, baby.
I just had to get that off. I just had to get that off just to start the show. But you know, nah, man. Definitely doing my thing, man. Coaching wide receivers. In the high school ranks. You know. Coached at Eagles Landing High School a couple years. Now I'm at Stockbridge High School. Got a really good, talented team, man. Actually went to a 7-on-7 today at UGA, a tournament, and we finished in 4th place. So, you know, I'm really happy with how well we did, and you know, we got a lot of good guys out there, a lot of good talent, and you know, we just working this summer, trying to get prepared for the season, man, so we can go ahead and try to make this run, you know, to the state championship. So, man, it's definitely a lot of fun out there working with the kids. I also coach rec football. You know, my son plays a 9U football team, North Henry Tigers, and I coach them as well. You know, so yeah, man, I'm out here really living football, really trying to make an impact with the kids, with the youth, and really just trying to, you know, teach the game and also learn the game myself, man.
Facts, man. Salute, man. I seen you do it from the little league to the high school. You know, I know we're talking about the game of football, but beyond that, you've been making some impacts out there, brother. So we do want to salute that. You know, that's what we want to do around here. We want to give props for that. Big Bucks, Gooch, man. What you got going on, brother? What's the word, man?
Man, just life, bro. Just life going on, man. Just working, take care of the wife and family, man. Just, you know, want to give a shout out to boy, man. We ain't chopped it up in a minute. So
for sure.
Always good to hear from you. I tilt my hat off to you, man. I'm glad to see you doing well. Glad, you know, it's good to hear things, you know, just good to hear us as black men doing positive things. Like, this is the thing that is overlooked. Like, yeah, it could be about sports, but the most important thing that I mind about you too is that you're a father in you and your child's life. You know, that's the important thing at the end of the day. Bring them up, raise them up to be men, you know, and that's what it's about.
Definitely.
With that being said, you know, it hurt to say this. I'll give you your flowers, Georgia on top. I mean, it hurt. I mean, y'all had to go and ruin a 41-year joke. So,
hey, man.
Y'all, as you said, the tables turned, but I got a feeling they're going to probably turn again. You know?
I mean, they may. You know, that table's constantly turning in college football. That's one thing we know for sure.
Hey, man, you wanted to turn your way for at least 2 years and at least let it turn your way for back-to-back years. I don't think you can complain with that.
I can't complain at all.
Right.
And we're going to talk about this later, but I honestly feel like we could be the first team to go 3 in a row. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everything is kind of lining up for us to do that as long as we take care of our business, you know, but we'll get into that later.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get into some college talk because this is gonna be the start of something beautiful. You know, I got my guys on here to where, you know, I said it earlier today. You know, good conversations come from good relationships, right?
Right.
So I think we all got good relationships, and we're gonna bring out some good content and some good conversation just based off of, you know, how well we rock with each other.
Right.
Okay. So, but man, with no further ado, man, past the intros. So let's hop into this, right? So the Philly Bulldogs, right? So people know that was the top of the top, right? So and the reason why I bring this up is because me, you know, we're gonna disclose an offline conversation between me and Uwap. The night of the draft, the Falcons specifically passed on Jalen Carter, right? And we got a big time Georgia Bulldog fan. And not only they passed on Jalen Carter, they passed on the Kobe Dean. You know, they passed on basically any Bulldog that was available at the time from a back-to-back last year off of a national championship team, and then we passed on a back-to-back national championship type players this year. So, and specifically, bro, I want to ask you, you know, you did say, hey, I'm not fucking with the Falcons no more. I'm rocking with the Eagles. So was that seriously enough for you to change your allegiance, or, you know, was it just some temporary, you know how you do with your ex? You want to get back a little bit, you say a little nasty stuff, but then once it's over with, you know, I mean, you get to calm down. It's like, okay, it wasn't that bad. Let me go, you know, try to see what that's about. How you feel about it, brother?
Okay, so the Falcons. Okay, I'm always gonna fuck with the Falcons, bro. It's not. It's just in me, bro. I fuck with the Falcons. I'm always gonna want them to do well. You know what I'm saying? The organization as a whole, since I can remember, has never really done things that I would like for us to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of, I still fuck with the Falcons, okay? It's not just an all the way fuck the Falcons type thing. But at this time, at this moment, over these past 2 years, the way that the Philadelphia Eagles have drafted, the way they have assembled a team, the way they have been in championship games, over the past decade, the way they have won championships. You know what I'm saying? The Falcons have been passing on Georgia Bulldogs that could have contributed to the team for years. This isn't anything new, okay? We can go as far back as Todd Gurley, Vic Beasley. You know what I'm saying? We can go back further than that. You know what I'm saying? Right. We could go. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on the pick. You know what I'm saying? But we picked Julio over AJ Green. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hate on the pick. Okay. But we traded a lot of pieces to get Julio. Well, we could have got AJ Green. I'm not saying it's a bad pick, but what I'm saying is there's a track record of the Falcons not selecting Georgia players. You hear me? And for me, it all came to a head when, like you stated, we have a team that has won back-to-back national championships in our backyard. This team is right here in the state, breeding champions that are going to other teams, that are balling. We saw what George Pickens did. We drafted Drake London, and he ain't no George Pickens. Now, this is me speaking as a wide receiver coach, as a Georgia bias, I will also include. But as I stated, we see George Pickens do things in practice, do things in games that we have yet to see Drake London do. I don't think that Drake London was a better. I can understand from the character standpoint. I understand we run the business. I understand there are a lot of other factors that play into these things. But, I mean, it's like, yo, we could have picked another position. You know what I'm saying? And came back and got George Pickens in the second round. Or traded up and got George Pickens late in the first round. Like, we make moves to get guys, and none of these guys are on this championship winning team. And we see these guys get drafted. We see these guys do their thing. We hear about Trayvon Walker, what he does over there in Jacksonville. We hear about how well Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis are playing. We hear about Lewis Seen in Minnesota before he got injured. You know what I'm saying? We're hearing about these guys. We see them. We see the things they do. We hear how they're making an impact in their team. They're making their team better. Why don't we want those same type of guys at Atlanta? I don't understand it. I don't get it. So when I see a team that's drafting these guys, that's cultivating the talent that they already have and making them better, letting them be contributors to championship teams, I have no choice but to admire that. The football player in me, the Georgia Bulldog in me, I have no choice but to admire that and respect that and root for that. And I want these guys to win. I want those guys to win a championship. I want them to win a Super Bowl. I want them to be like, man, I went to Georgia, played 2 years, won 2 natties. got drafted to Philly, won a Super Bowl with my guys. I won a natty with at Georgia. I want to hear that story. So I'm rooting for that.
Right. I mean, you think that's cap, Joe? I don't think you feeling that, bro. I'm just looking at your face, but I don't know if you really feeling the whole
I'm
Georgia.
just being honest.
Georgia is the same. Basically, Georgia players are the savior of the NFL.
I'm not saying that.
That's what it feels like.
Players are going to be major contributors on Super Bowl winning teams.
Right.
What did Jordan Davis do in the Super Bowl?
Jordan Davis plays behind Fletcher Cox and Hargrave. Jordan Davis does his part. Jordan Davis is going to be playing next to Jalen Carter, just like he was at Georgia when they won those natties, and he's going to be doing what he was doing at Georgia.
So you don't think without an inch now? Let's get into it. Super Bowl hangover. I think that's okay with Philly. I mean, right as of right now, Philly is on paper right now favored to win the NFC. I don't see nobody as a threat unless it's a divisional rival because they play the Giants and the Cowboys twice. But Dallas, I still don't believe in that.
49ers, if they get their quarterback
49ers is going to be the challenge.
49ers ain't got a quarterback, so
yeah, that's a big if. But everything else standing, they are threat.
I mean, but as far as the Georgia connection, I feel you on that. I mean, that's the hottest thing coming out right now. So, but like you said, you have yet to see them win a title. Like the only team you saw win a title with a bunch of Georgia players was what? New England in 2018. What? Sony Michel and
probably Shaq
Mason win, Sony Michel, Isaiah win, David Andrews. They had a few Georgia players.
Yeah, a few on that squad.
Kansas City got a few Georgia players on their squad.
Yep. I mean, I get it. You know, the hype with Philly. I do get it. I can't believe what you said. You saying that is enough to make you leave your Falcons squad. Like,
I think it may be. I think what he's saying it may be enough for him to step out a little bit. You know,
it's enough for me to confidently support another team. Yes, it is. Okay. I can literally go to an Eagles game. I could buy Eagles jerseys. They got DeAndre Swift.
I can't let you buy. I can't let you.
They got DeAndre Swift
jersey, brother.
They got DeAndre Swift. They got Keely Ringo. They got Nakobe Dean. They got Jordan Davis. They got Jalen Carter. I'm buying an Eagles jersey with a Georgia player on it. They got Nolan Smith. They got Nolan Smith.
No disrespect,
I just named 6 Georgia players.
But no disrespect. You know, I'm trying to be neutral in this, but just to be honest, you may have named one Pro Bowl player. You've named some solid contributors, potentially solid contributors, huh?
Most of these guys have only been in the league 1 to 2 years.
We don't know what their ceiling is. We don't really know.
We don't yet. But what I'm saying is these guys were.
Let me ask you this: how do they gel with Matt Patricia in Philadelphia with his antics and his bullshit? You already see him and Darius Slay don't get along. How long before he go on?
Darius Slay is a vet, though. It's different. Like Darius Slay a vet, so it's different when you a vet. You've been in the league. You already made your client. You know what I'm saying? People know you. We know what type of guy Darius Slay is. We talking about rookies. We talking about sophomores in the NFL. The only guy I named out of all those people who've been in the league longer than 1 year is DeAndre Swift.
And he can't stay healthy.
He has had injury issues, and that's why they went ahead and traded him and they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, you know,
I still don't get that. I couldn't believe that. I mean, you still have a hell of an upside. I'll say that. Both
and Tom, and Tom would tell, you know, how good Jahmyr Gibbs is. But for me, it's mostly that I'm supporting my Georgia players, and this notion, this shit that's been happening where the Falcons just refuse to draft Georgia players sickening. It's brought me. I passed my boiling point, man. I can't take it no more. So any team that got the most Georgia players, like I got a team right here that's not drafted any Georgia players. We got a team that's 4-5 states away drafting all Georgia players. Like, what is going on?
Wow. I never looked at it from like that. I mean, you touched on it like you were saying, like y'all gave up a lot to get Julio when you could have got AJ, but correct me if I'm wrong, Cincinnati jumped the gun, pulled the trigger early before you guys and pulled and got AJ. They didn't, because they picked him right there at 4, if I'm not mistaken. And then you guys
You might be right. You might be right.
I think that threw everything off. Now from what my understanding was, I heard one guy would claim to say that Julio was sliding down the board because he had injuries, but you went on and pulled the plug and got him. Like, and I think that was the right move. If you got a guy you locked in on, go get him.
I mean, I'm not hating it, bro. I think Julio did great things for us. Julio changed the franchise, definitely helped Matt Ryan's career. I'm not mad at the Julio pickup. I'm just going back to how far back I can remember us not drafting Georgia players, drafting other guys who weren't as good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got Todd Gurley when he was on his last leg. We could have got Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley could have helped us win that damn Super Bowl. We would have had Todd Gurley and Devontae Freeman. Nobody knew how good Devontae Freeman was going to be. You know what I'm saying? He broke out that same rookie year that Todd Gurley broke records as a rookie rushing the ball. Really helped LA get to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of knew about Devontae Freeman. I mean, yeah, come on, he from Florida State.
I'm saying we all knew he was good at Florida State, but we didn't know he was going to be like that in the NFL. And even when he was, his shit was short-lived. Devontae had, 2 good years? And then he started being concussed. Never really did shit after that. It's a short shelf life for running backs. I do agree and understand that. But, I mean, shit, we got Vic Beasley who did shit. He had 1 good season. Todd Gurley at least had 4 or 5. Todd Gurley was the highest paid running back in the league. Gurley
was fired to that knee got out there. Gurley was there. Gurley was the real deal. Like all around back, he could do it all.
He could do everything.
Put him in space.
We could have had that with Shanahan. You know what I'm saying?
No, he was with what's not Shanahan, the other dude.
I'm saying that would have been Shanahan. Like Shanahan would have had Todd Gurley. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they basically run the same scheme. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Not to say Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman wasn't good, but Todd Gurley, you feel me? And we still would have had Devontae Freeman. Like we had Vic Beasley. He did his thing 1 year, led the league in sacks. Never heard of him again.
Was that due to veteranship? Like because he had Dwight?
Because he had Dwight Freeney. He had other guys. We had other pass rushers. I mean, Vic Beasley was overrated to me anyway, man. But
Clemson D lineman, you never take a Clemson D lineman in a time.
Yeah, he wasn't even a D lineman. He was an outside linebacker. Like he stood up. He didn't even play with his hand in the dirt like that at Clemson.
I mean, they even admitted that they knew that Vic Beasley wasn't all the way invested in football like that. So
yeah.
So that kind of makes that pick look even worse. But at the same time, both of these guys are out of the league right now, right?
But we're talking about a running back.
More out of that time, right?
We would have got more out of Todd Gurley than we did out of Vic Beasley.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So, but though, just to kind of wrap it up on the Philly Bulldogs topic, I can see that it more so strikes a chord that the Atlanta Falcons are not picking the Georgia Bulldogs, and it makes it worse that the Bulldogs are successful right now. So do you think that, I never hear an issue of the Atlanta Falcons passing on Alabama Crimson Tide players, right? So Alabama Crimson Tide is not too far from here. It's 2 hours from here, from Atlanta. Right. Georgia, Athens is, less than an hour, about an hour and a half, depending on where you're at in Atlanta. So you got to say, Alabama and Georgia. So why don't we hear any rhetoric or any pushback when we don't pick Alabama players, right, who's had a longer history of winning, more championships, right? We don't hear that, but is it just a close proximity that people say, hey, and we already know these players, we're familiar with them, I want them on my professional team? Does that how it's supposed to work?
I'm not gonna say that's how it's supposed to work, but what I will say is when you have an in-state team that is doing well, you should get those guys. You have an in-state college that is winning national championships, that is dominating the college football landscape right now. You have to get some of those guys on your team. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? When they're there, they're available, they're positions of need. Why are we not selecting these guys? It makes no sense.
I mean, no, well, I got to say this. Like, when you look at both programs, Alabama and UGA, they're similar in ways they're getting the top players and stuff. But I got to ask this. Do you think that the reason why, do you believe that, one, when they're playing up under Nick Saban and Kirby, they're already making them maximize their potential right there in college? Like, you already to where you can't even do anything no more once you get to the league. Like, you can't even go. They get the maximum out of you. And do you think that the issue comes with being drafted? But look how many Alabama players were good. I mean, they last in the league, but they already hit their ceiling coming into the league, like what they could do, because they demand so much out of them. Do you think that's potentially an issue?
I think that could be an issue. I do think that could be an issue, but I mean, I think that the examples of what you saying are few and far between rather than this guy. Because I mean, we could name a lot of guys who are from Alabama that's in the league that's been balling for years. You know what I'm saying? There are some guys. No, I know what you mean. There are some guys who peak. You know what I'm saying? At Alabama, and that was like the best ball they got. But there's a lot of guys that come into the league and just ball out in the league too. Like, damn, like Minkah Fitzpatrick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Trayvon Diggs.
Here's my argument, though. That's mainly your skill players that come in the league balling, and you only have a few that 12 out. Look at all your trench players, majority offensive linemen. How many of them really last? Most of your Alabama linemen. Offensive linemen.
Alabama offensive linemen, from my understanding, is probably about 50-50. But I think it's like that. Because shit, it's like that at Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say that's just because Georgia coaching. I just think
except for the last few years.
We had a first round draft pick that fucking wasn't hitting on shit. Isaiah, what's my boy name? No, not Isaiah. The other one got drafted by the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, you talking about
Andrew Thomas?
No, Andrew Thomas
got
drafted
my man
by
with the Giants.
Oh yeah. What's my boy name?
My man with the dreads. I know who you're talking
about. From Brooklyn, like he didn't pan out either. You know what I'm saying?
He was a first round pick at that.
He was a first round pick, and I think that's more so just a lineman thing. Like, when you playing lineman, you got to be able to really translate to the league. You know what I'm saying? I think we can name a bunch of teams that got players that flop, players that, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really just say like that's more of a Georgia, Alabama thing where guys are peaking. But I would say that's more like maybe at running back. You know what I'm saying? I could say like maybe at running back or yes, thing on. For this, I can't really say that. You feel me? I can't really say like, okay, that's what that is. But I mean, I understand what you're saying though. I say all that to say I understand what you're saying. I do think there are some examples of where guys peak early because they went to Alabama, or Georgia, but I don't think it's enough of that to say, okay, I'm going to stay away from drafting those guys. I think it's still worth the squeeze. I think it's still worth drafting them to see what we can get out of them rather than drafting some guy who played on a, you know what I'm saying? Not the shit on any schools, like, you know what I'm saying? I got kids that play for me that play for Boston College that start that ball, but like, you know, or, you know, a Wake Forest or, you know what I'm saying? Well, some of these other schools, these San Diego States and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a kid with the Georgia that we know is better than this guy. It may be on you know what I'm saying, maybe on the board, and then we draft a safety from fucking UCF. Like, that's the type of shit that I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like, Keely Ringo was on the board. Like, what the fuck? When Keely Ringo came off the board, what, 4th round? Like, dog, we ain't got just the corners where we could be like, oh, no, we don't need Ringo. And then we drafted we drafted a corner. So I'm like, why the fuck? What's on the scouting report?
It may be the character. That's what I'm
saying.
Disrespect,
what's the scouting report? What's the character? What are we?
There's a lot of character concerns about the Georgia Bulldogs. No disrespect. Winning, it definitely cures all, like they say. So, you know, driving to work this week, yesterday, actually, we just started driving to work yesterday. So I did hear, you know, Georgia had over 300. Georgia players had over 300 citations, you know, since Kirby Smart's been there. So, you know, over like 3+ tickets where they had driving over 100 miles per hour, you know, 60+ tickets they're driving over 20 miles per hour. So AJC did a big breakdown on Georgia Bulldogs and the troubles that they've been having. So I think that could be playing a contributing factor because Flowery Branch is not that far from Athens, right? So it's damn near, in the sense of America, it's Athens and Flowery Branch. They're damn near in backyards. So they're that close. So I think we may know a little bit more, and it's probably better for these players to go 4 states away from potential leechers and people that's going to get, you know, hold them down and get them in trouble, have them to, you know, be racing cars on the street like that, stuff like that. So it may be best to go for
and you know what, man? It's funny you say that because as I'm watching the draft and, you know, everything's playing out and Jalen Carter gets drafted to Philly, I said, man, you know what, man? That's the best fucking spot for him to go. And then I see Nolan Smith get drafted there. And I'm like, yo, this is the best spot for him to go. Because you got Nakobe Dean, you got Jordan Davis, guys who already been there for a year, who going to help you out, show you around the city, help you get acclimated to the team. Y'all won national championships together. Keely Ringo get drafted. Boom. Wow. What a better place for him to go. You know what I'm saying? You got Gardner Johnson, you got Darius Slay, you got guys you could go up here and really learn from. Nakobe Dean, they don't have like elite inside linebackers that he could really go there and learn from, but Nakobe Dean is good his damn self. So he could just get acclimated and involved in the team. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, they get to learn from Fletcher Cox and Hargraves, 2 of the best interior linemen in the league. Like, these landing spots for them are great, and I'm not mad at it. But goddamn, I would have really loved to see Jalen Carter next to Grady Jarrett. You know what I'm saying? I would have really loved to see Keely Ringo line up opposite of AJ Terrell. You know what I'm saying? Those things would have been great to see, and I wouldn't have been mad at it. But I do understand that, hey, maybe Jalen Carter need to get out of Georgia, and I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? But me as a fan of Georgia, as a fan of the Falcons, that's what I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? I really wanted to see some Georgia play. It didn't have to be like Nolan Smith is from Georgia, from Savannah. Like, great player. We could have drafted him. You see what I'm saying? We got Lorenzo Carter on the team who played for Georgia. We didn't draft him. He got drafted by the New York Giants, but now he's back here. You see what I'm saying? Doing things in the community. Just got a extended contract. Like, you feel me? Like, what are we doing?
Bro, I'm not a Georgia hater, but I'm an Atlanta Falcon fan first. So I roll with, you know, whoever we draft, you know, but I am on the same wavelength as you, bro. When that pick is up and one of those Georgia players are there, I am anticipating their name to be called as well. And it doesn't, but it doesn't sting me, possibly the way that it would sting a Georgia Bulldog, because you have been not, you know, saying, following this kid since knowing how deep we all are in college football, all the way down to high school. You've been knowing and following these players since they were high school players. Watch them come in as freshmen and actually turn into something to where they're back-to-back champions and now they've made it to the league. And you yourself, as a fan, you would like to be rewarded for your loyalty to them, for them to come to your team, and you can continue that relationship, right? But when the Falcons don't pick them, there's like a breakup that has to happen. Right, you have to watch them go their own way. Like Florida State, if somebody gets drafted by the New Orleans Saints, right? Jameis Winston. No, there's no shame in my game. Jameis Winston is a top 3 college football player in my mind, to me. No, not to say in the no list, but I'm talking about my personal preference. Jameis Winston. He's on the New Orleans Saints. You know what I'm saying? So automatically there is awkwardness. It's automatically, so when you see your player, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, all of these guys get passed up, it's like a mini breakup that happens when we select Troy Anderson over Nakobe Dean. Troy Anderson and Nakobe Dean was on the board, and we watched Nakobe Dean pick 6 the Florida Gators, take it down the sideline. We watched him call out the other linebacker in the national championship game, make him get it. Hey, you do your assignment. We saw the leadership on the highest level, and the Falcons said no to that.
Yeah.
And for you, it's hard for you to say, huh? What? Like, this is
these motherfuckers don't know what they doing.
Right. So I get that, bro. I understand that. I get that, but it's maybe they know more than we do. I'm not sure.
I assume they do, because this is their job. These are the professionals, they getting paid. But I do also know that they fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they've been fucking up, man. Honestly. Like you say, man, we see the greatness that Nakobe Dean displays on the highest level. And to tell me that, okay, yeah, that's cool, but I like this guy. Like, I'm like, what? Why? What are you? You know what I'm saying? Now, to me, it's just like, okay, you just don't want to draft no Georgia players. And on top of that, bro, just to finish this, just to give my last thought on this, like, Philly was never a team that I just like hated or anything. You know what I'm saying? If the Panthers draft 5 Georgia players, I ain't gonna be like, man, fuck it, I'm a Panthers fan. I'm gonna be like, God damn, man, fuck the Panthers. But them niggas, hey, if they beat the Falcons, I know why, because we don't draft these Georgia niggas and they do. You know what I'm saying? Same thing for Tampa Bay, same thing for the Saints. You know what I'm saying? But with Philly being a team that because I was never really a Cowboys fan. You know what I'm saying? I was never really a Washington fan. Like, I kind of like the Giants one time. I kind of like the Eagles before Brian Dawkins, T.O. You know what I'm saying? I like that era. McNabb, you know what I'm saying? Westbrook, Brian Westbrook.
Except for when they beat the Falcons.
Yeah, when they beat Vic. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, that was a good. Yeah, I didn't fuck with that, of course.
They beat us in the divisional playoffs 2017. But we, like you said, there's no history of hatred.
Right.
With the Philadelphia Eagles.
So it's easy for me to say, man, you know what, nigga, I'll fuck with the Eagles. Nigga, I want the Eagles to win.
I can't say.
And they lost the Super Bowl too. So they lost the Super Bowl. So it's not like you jumping on a bandwagon.
Right.
So it's kind of like, you can sneak on their bandwagon and celebrate with them.
I like Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. I fuck with Jalen Hurts. I think he's a respectable man. You know what I'm saying? He left Alabama, so he didn't graduate from there. So shit, he's good in my book.
He graduated from Alabama.
He graduated from Oklahoma.
Transfer.
Okay, yeah, he's a grad transfer. Well, hey, man, your school is known as Oklahoma. I fuck with that. So when you go up there and they say, where you college, you say Oklahoma. That's cool with me.
Yeah, we got to see his Sunday night football. We may need to look into that. When he comes and announces himself, we got to see what school he says that he represents.
He gonna say Oklahoma.
That's a good little nugget. That's a good little nugget.
Saban told him to go there, though. You know that, right? Saban told him to go to Oklahoma. Right?
And that probably go over there. Going to Lincoln Riley.
Yeah,
probably got him into the second round, because before that, there was a lot of smut on Jalen Hurts' name, man, because they tried to make it seem like he couldn't throw. You know, he couldn't read defenses. Tua came and took his spot, and he had to watch on the bench for a whole year. So, yeah, he definitely reclaimed his name. But what you did mention, bro, you said a respectable young man, right? So that's what we are. That's what we want to see. We got these young black millionaire players, right? But they are all not only are they players, they are men. They are human beings.
Yes.
So they are susceptible to the same things as, you know, people that I would say our level, as normal human beings, right? They are exceptional in the pedestal they're put on, right? So for normal human beings, they are susceptible to the same things, right? And we're talking about Zion Williamson here, right? So, you know, what I want to do with this segment, right? Is we saw, I've clowned them, I've laughed at them for the whole week, but we kind of do want to pick them up a little bit, right? We've dragged them for a week. We've reshared, we've retweeted all of the memes and all of the jokes. But, you know, if Zion was, you know, here with us right now or watching this stream, you know, starting with you, Big Bucks, like what would you have to say to Zion or to kind of help him through the situation that he found himself in?
Well, I will start by telling him, like, look, man, you about to become a father. You have a responsibility. Like, that's first and foremost. You're going to have to take care of that child no matter what and be in that child's life. Do not abandon him. Do not do anything wrong. That boy, that kid child is going to watch everything you do. That's first and foremost. As far as, you know, just being a young man with money and stuff, like, you know, I've always heard this. You can go broke chasing women, but you ain't never lost women chasing money. Right, so I would just tell them, hey man, keep your eyes on your career and just focus on that. Everything else will fall in place. Women ain't going nowhere, but money, that's your money, that's your career. You're gonna have to be smart. Now, if you got the woman that you having a baby by, if she's a good woman, you know, I hope, my hat's off to you. I hope everything works out. But you're gonna have to also, one thing that I think that's just really getting out of hand because of this age that we're in is with social media. Don't let nobody put all your business out there like that. I mean, I know that's just the era we in, but like that be truthful, that was none of our business. What you do in your personal time, that's none of my business. I mean, you're doing stuff that's, you know, you having fun. I would say that you're having fun. I mean,
you got all the resources. Everything is at your fingertips. Like I mean,
you know what he was able to do from the messages and what she was posting. I mean, hey, I'm a man. Shoot, I would did it too.
I mean, but he's probably spending money that he doesn't even know he's losing. Right.
Yeah.
So
that's what my point is.
How much big a loss is that to him? But
it's really a huge loss. I mean, one meme, you know, she posted information where he just sent her $20,000 like it ain't nothing. I'm like, yeah, I get that you're in the pros right now, but dude, what happens when that money stops coming in? You can't throw money around like that, and you just have to be smart. You know, I really don't think, you know, he has I mean, in my personal opinion, I don't think he has a male, he didn't have a male role model growing up, a father or uncle or a big brother to tell him, show him the game, show him like, hey, do A, B, and C with this. You know, I really do think if he had that, because I mean, his actions, to me, that's what it looks like to me. Like, if you would have had your big bro or your homeboy, like you had an older friend that knew stuff, I don't think this would be. I mean, he probably could have got a girl pregnant, but I don't think it'll be this outlash what we're seeing now. But if I was to just
go ahead. No, I was gonna say we got to think about it. Like, where is Zion Williamson from? Like a country town in South Carolina, right? Like, if he did have a big brother, ear. Like, bro probably saying, bro, if I had as much money as you, I'll be goddamn hitting this. I'll be hitting that.
Well, see, that's the thing. You got everybody that wants to tell him what he wants to hear. You know, you ain't got nobody that's gonna keep it real with him. You know, maybe I don't know. Maybe his mother tried to talk to him and say, "Hey, you need to watch out for leeches and stuff like that when you get out here." Like, it's not surprising. You are in New Orleans. I know it's gonna be some wild stuff out there that he's experiencing, but I would just talk to the young man, just say, "Hey, man, you just gonna have to be responsible." And there's no way around it. And he's just gonna have. He's got that for the next 18 years. He's gonna have to. And for the love of God, please keep a good relationship with the child's mother, whether y'all stay together or not.
Yeah.
Please be on the same page, co-parenting or parenting together, whatever y'all decide to do. Please do it well, because that affects the child. Please be there in his life, because I get a single family. My hats off to a single mother or father, but a child has more success with two. And I really hope that he goes that route and is there for the child. And I know it's going to be a question that comes up, finance with child support. Hey, you better be like 50. Put that money to the side. Like, what the amount going to be. Put it to the side where you're going to always pay that. Because you've seen too many cats go bankrupt over child support or don't have the money. So, that lavish lifestyle you have, you better make it stretch, is all I can say. And just keep it a buck with them. Like, hey, man, you just got to make better decisions. And, hey, man, you better stop going in everything raw. I'm going to just keep it a buck with you, you better scrap up.
Got it. What you got, Wap, man? What you got for my man Zion, bro?
For Zion here, just to give my analysis of the situation, man, I think what we got here is a case of young country dude who has come into millions. You know what I'm saying? We gotta remember how young Zion was when he came into the league. You know what I'm saying? 1 year removed from high school, 1 year removed from college, or 2 years removed from high school, 1 year removed from college. Young guy, now thrust into this life, this lavish life of fame and notoriety, and the women that he used to probably damn touch himself to when he just 2-3 years ago he was in high school. He now got the opportunity to actually do something with. You know what I'm saying? What I would tell him is, man, you are the prize. You are what women want, man. So you have to play. You have to act like it. You can't just be around here devaluing yourself, giving yourself to anybody. You know what I'm saying? You got to find you a good, high character, high quality woman who could be a wife, a potential wife, a potential mother. You know what I'm saying? And that's who you need to get with and build your empire with, and create the foundation for your family structure. Out here messing around with different women, especially at the caliber of dude you are, is going to be something that's a temptation. Now, if you're at that stage of your life where you're not ready to settle down and you want to do those things, you have to protect yourself. You have to use protection. Not only are you protecting yourself from diseases, but you're protecting yourself from extortion. You're protecting yourself from creating a life that you're not ready to cultivate, raise, and bring into this world. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that you are fully aware of the things you're doing and what stage of life you at, man. And you can't be around here just tricking off, giving women hundreds of thousands of dollars and doing all this and that, man. You're Zion Williamson. It don't take no money. You understand? You fly her out, you go out with her, have a good time, take her out, do things, spend the night, go on a date, whatever, and you do your thing, and then you go on about your business. If it's somebody you don't want to fool, if you want to fool with them again, you keep them around. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be out here having sex with multiple women unprotected. You can't be out here just throwing thousands of dollars at women, because when the money stops coming, that's when you get exposed. That's when things like this happen. Because now you're being extorted. Now, you know what I'm saying? Or when you living a double life and your double life is exposed, you know what I'm saying? Now you don't have to continue to pay somebody in order for them to keep things quiet, keep things under wraps. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's probably the main thing I would explain to him. Like, yo, you got to understand the game you in and understand how to play it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to fault you for being a man, a young, extremely rich man at that, who we all know if we was in that position, we'd probably be doing the same shit. You know what I'm saying? But we'd be doing that shit a lot smarter. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like you said, Big, I think that he didn't have people in his ear telling him anything, or he had people in his ear telling him the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? They're telling him, man, do that shit, man. You got plenty of money, man. If I had that money, I'd do this. If I had that money, I'd hit her. If I had that money, I'd be flying her out. You know what I'm saying? And that might be something that I think is causing him or caused him to fall into this trap. You know what I'm saying? So that will probably be, like you said also too, you know, now that you do have this child, you have to be in the child's life. Of course, it's cheaper to keep her. You know, I would recommend you trying to work it out with your you know what I'm saying, your child's mother. You know what I'm saying? I would recommend you trying to do whatever you can to have a relationship with her and try to keep it together. Now, if it doesn't work out, you have to understand also what comes with that and the things you have to do and how that's gonna spread yourself thin, and it's gonna be a different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Because the last thing you could do, though, is abandon this child. The last thing you could do is not be present in their life, because it wasn't, you know, they didn't ask to be here. You know what I'm saying? So you should have been more responsible. Moving forward, you need to be more responsible, and you have to figure out how you're going to address this situation with your child's mother and how you're going to be able to be there and not just spend money and child support, but actually spend quality time and get to know your child and let your child get to know you.
Hey, bro, this is some real in-depth advice that Zion needed before now, right? But we would have never known that he had these issues unless they came out, right? Unless they came out. So it did come out this week. And what you're speaking about, there should be more discretion there, at least, right? If this is what you're doing, you're a high profile person, right? So you have to move a certain way,
right?
You know, and Deshaun Watson, right? To bring up his name, he has dirtied or sullied NDAs, right? Non-disclosed, with non-disclosure agreement. So NDA would have saved Zion Williamson in this situation, right? He didn't have an NDA with the stripper chick, so she just went crazy. So you understand why these players use this or exercise this to keep these women from doing him, because he really got, I don't even think what the Mariah Mills chick, everything she said, I don't think everything she said was true, but I think she had the platform and she had the audience to peddle this shit and kind of keep her name up, all because he didn't have an NDA. So he has to learn how to move, right? You're not a normal person. You do. It is easy for you to DM this chick and fly her in and smash her. It can seem as easy as 1, 2, 3, but you may be getting yourself into situations to where you're gonna lose on the back end. You don't know these women. You're trusting these women with like intimate messages and all of that stuff. Salute, man. Salute to the chat, man. Salute to my man, Flag on the Play. That's my man Jamel. Salute, Jamel, bro. Salute for tapping in. But he's really opened himself up because he didn't protect himself. But he's so young. But that's why we are, proposing this segment to where at least he needs this type of advice. It may not get to him, but he needs somebody that's going to tell him like, hey, man, you don't need to do that. I don't know if he has that person to tell him that, because you see with the video with him and Brandon Ingram, they're talking about Dallas, and they already know what he got going on in Dallas. That's where Mariah Mills is from, right? So let me play that little video for you guys, man. Yeah, so he already, was knowing, they already knew what he was into, but nobody ever said like, hey, watch out for these chicks. I'm pretty sure he got that talk. He has that talk.
Somebody had to.
I'm not gonna excuse him like that, but I think he just got himself into a situation to where he's gonna have to take this ass whooping. He's gonna have to take this beating because he didn't protect himself the right way, and he's just gonna have to try to find a way, because it's overshadowing everything that he's not doing on the court. It's highlighting everything he's not doing. So he's not playing, and then you got this off the court stuff,
right?
And then now they're talking about trading you. Today it came out, they're talking about trading them. So you're becoming expendable based off of the bitches you're fucking.
Right.
I mean, not to mention, we didn't even touch on this. What happened? You see how more they claim to say more females will want to come out and speak out against him. What happens if one of them come out and try to say sexual assault? Anytime that comes up, your reputation is ruined and you're guilty until proven innocent. I mean, right. I hope that's not the case, but that's easily could destroy him in one. It don't take but one. So I just would tell that young man just to be careful. And like you said, hey, protect yourself at all times. I mean, that's just the route you're gonna have to go. I mean, he's Zion Williamson, like he is the prize, like my boy said. Hey, you gotta protect yourself too if you want to stay on top. I mean, there's no other way to go about it. I mean, I get he's young and want to have fun, but man, you just have to always watch yourself. You can't trust everybody.
Right. I think that what we're all saying here is gotta protect yourself. I think that you gotta like we talk about all the time, like protect the investment, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about people that are around you. You got to protect the investment. You got to watch out for him. You got to make sure that he's not, setting himself up for failure, right? He's his own man, but you got to be able to watch his parameters. You got to know who's coming in and out and what he's doing. If you're like, hey, man, he likes porn star chicks, because I'm pretty sure he has talked to it with his closest friends, and they know. You see that Mariah Mills, that ass is so fat. Moses had to part the Red Sea to get up in that, right? I don't know, but Zion, I cannot. Me personally, that may be a little bit too much for me. I ain't trying to work that hard, but at the same time, when he's giving this type of information, you got to be like, hey, bro, beware. Like, if you do smash her, wear a condom. She shouldn't be claiming that she could be pregnant. You should be wearing a condom, bro. So you need to be strapping it up at least. If you're gonna be freaky deaky, man, you can't be out here wild. You $100-200 million dude. You can't be out here that reckless, man. You got to move better. But this may be what he needed as a wake-up call to move better.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully he can recover from this. He got a baby in the situation, him and his baby mama. Hopefully their relationship is good, but we all know how that goes in the sports world. He'll be paying child support before we know it, because he's 20, he's in his early 20s. He has 100 some more hoes to slay. So they're going to fall off. So he'll be paying child support soon. So unless he plans on marrying her, so I don't know about that.
And
but
that may not stop anything. She can still get a divorce.
Right. Yeah, he's in the porn star, so I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
And I think this girl was like from I can't remember exactly, but from what I was seeing, they were saying like, oh, she's a scammer. She does this, she does that. Like, so I don't think she just in like a good line of business either. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't sure exactly what she does. But from what I hear, she may be like, I mean, you know, if you messing with porn stars, and chances are your other women ain't doing like a great line of work. They ain't out here. You ain't out here messing with nuns and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You probably messing with in the strip club, you know, living that sex worker life.
I mean, but that's what you went to. You could have just. I mean, I don't want to jump off him, but you could have went and just got an ordinary woman without that status of a porn star and got the same results without losing any money. And I don't mean. I mean,
no,
she don't even make. I mean, she probably don't even make that with the scenes she shoots and stuff.
Man, probably. Listen, man, this lady ain't nothing. This lady, I ain't here just to bash her. You know, she doing her thing. She got Zion Wilson, but this lady ain't just no attractive lady like that. She ain't just.
I ain't never heard of her.
Goddamn turning heads. Like she might be turning heads, but it ain't for a good reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I ain't never heard of her.
I haven't heard of her either until I seen her when she started exposing him, and I see who she is and what she looked like. Zion should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah, that BBL doesn't even resemble anything real.
Yeah, that BBL is terrible.
It looks fake. It looks artificial. So, but when you're that age, he's 23, 24. You're trying to get your rocks off. He's like 22, so he's younger. So, you know, but at the same time, at least, man, you got to be smarter than that, bro. You got to know the caliber of chicks that you laying down with. A lot of times, I'm not perfect. A lot of times I found out afterwards, but at the same time, I was fortunate enough not to be a notable dude, right? I'm not making $102 million. Like my stuff is not being plastered on ESPN, Twitter, everywhere. You got Stephen A. Smith talking about you. You know what I'm saying? So
who you having sex with?
Who you having sex with, bro? So that lets you know your situation is out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, you tap in with somebody that's gonna show you the ropes and show you how to move, because you're gonna do what you have to do. There's people that been there before you. They just need to show you how to move. So, you know, we want to see you recover. You know, I wouldn't mind you seeing you get traded to Atlanta. We send DeJounte Murray out there. We'll bring Zion here. Get your fat ass on the court. Get your fat ass on the court. Play. Kiss some loss from trade.
I think we'll keep DeJounte. We'll give him John Collins.
Shit, you gonna have to give him John Collins.
John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, and somebody else.
Yo, man. Dog, bro. Great topics, fellas. Great topics, man. So let's get to the last one here, man. We're gonna wrap it up with on the last topic. We're gonna wrap it up with Skip and Shannon, man. I'm not sure how much you guys have watched Skip and Shannon over the last 7 years. I've tapped in with them periodically, you know, to switch it up from ESPN a little bit. How do you guys feel about the breakup and the final show, man? Do you guys feel like it was needed, or are you guys wishing that they would have continued?
I think it's like this for me. I respect what
he would definitely be in Magic City.
Yeah. Atlanta may not be the best place.
He wanted to come to Atlanta, bro. The ping ball night, that ball night, he was tapping the Atlanta Falcons logo. I would have loved him here, but streets be calling, and it would have definitely called his name in Atlanta.
Zion, but I had got the whole strip club pregnant.
What? He would never say, yo. Hey, yeah, they would have turned him out for sure. They would have turned him out in Atlanta.
He had a whole strip club scene fucked up. He gonna be out here Nick Cannon in Atlanta.
Yeah. Yep. Damn. His NBA check would have been deposited into these hoes' account. They would have been direct deposited in his NBA account. Because you see the way he was talking to these girls, like, how much I got to pay you a month? Like, what? Hey, that's a bitch. How much you got to pay?
Hey, let's just say what it is. This little simp ass nigga. Let's just
he is, man. He is.
We done with the uplift. It's just like it is.
He's just a young dude, young country dude who got some money. That's it. Right. The whole check would have been going to Magic City. He would have just get his check deposited into Magic City account.
Right. Yep. But man, I'm interested to see when he gonna show. I see he show his face in charity and stuff like that. But hopefully he doesn't. He don't go on this Ben Simmons type deal where he's too embarrassed to even play in the league again. Right. He gonna be claiming anxiety, depression, all this kind of stuff. I got mental health issues. He can't even play no more. So so that's gonna be interesting to see what he comes back and looks like, man. But to tap back into Skip and Shannon, man, were you guys rocking with them or was it like a whole hum? We moving on with our day. I work, you guys probably say, man, I'm at work anyway. I don't care what they're doing, but we did catch a lot of their clips, a lot of their viral moments. For me, I do feel like it's going to be a big loss in the sports content world. So how do you guys feel?
I agree. I've been rocking with them from the start. If I ain't never told y'all this, like I always felt ESPN was too biased, so I quit watching them for a while. So then when Shannon and Skip came on the scene, I was just like, okay, let me check this out. They got Shannon, so I wonder what they're gonna let him do. And when he just started dropping some heat, like I mean, he just let him tell it like it was, like how he checked Joel Clapp with that kneeling, like how he checked him, like that was the first thing. I was just like, dang, he ate him up. And then he checked he even checked Ray Lewis on air, like when they was arguing about that. Like I thought that was memorable. I don't know if that hurt their friendship, but Shannon was keeping it 100. Now I do think he went overboard with the LeBron praise or whatever, but I do respect that's his opinion. But I do think it's a huge loss in the sports world. But I also feel like it's two ways to look at this. I know everybody want to jump to Skip's difficult to work with and look how he disrespected him. He can't he just can't deal with it anymore. But also on the other end, was it more to it than just Skip? Was it more he don't have enough creative control, or he maybe want to do something else? You have to look at it from both sides, but I also feel like Skip is one of those older guys like, hey, give me my props. Like I'm the one that gave you your shot. And I get that. I think he worth mentioning that. Skip did go to bat for him because that was out of the blue. Like he wanted to get Shannon to come on the show and talk, sports with him. That was, kind of out of the left field because I remember the rumor when they said it was rumored it's going to be Shannon Sharpe and Skip. And I was just like, man, Shannon might cuss him out on live TV, because all that trash he be talking. But, Shannon really showed a different side to him. So, but I think it's a huge loss. I don't really know how much longer that show would last, like with the ratings. Rumor what Shady McCoy is gonna try to be his replacement. So we'll see. But my hat's off to Shannon. I'm just curious to see what his next move is, like what he would do. I just hope he don't go to ESPN. Like Cameron said, he said call Michael Irvin and Shannon to come on their podcast. So they'll pay Michael to come on their show. So
you tapping into it. It is what it is too.
Yeah,
it is what it is. That's my joint.
Yeah, but I think Shannon, whatever he decides to do, I think he's okay. Obviously, I don't think he's hurting for money. He might want to just sit back and because didn't he just say he was recently a grandfather now? So he might want to, sit back and spend time with his grandkids because he claimed to say he neglected his kids over the years. So I don't know, but
you got in today's age, you got to strike while it's hot. He's hot. He can't cool down. He can't. For me, that would be nice, but he's built himself up to a point to where he has to cash in now. What you got, Wop? What you got?
No, I fuck with Skip and Shannon show periodically. Like you, Sean, I used to tap in and out. Used to watch it a lot more when it first came on. Man, after a while, it kind of got old to me. Like, shit, if I wanted to hear about the Cowboys, the Lakers, you know what I'm saying, the regulars, shit, I'll listen to Skip and Shannon. You know what I'm saying? But you know me, I'm a real homer. You know what I'm saying? I like to hear about Georgia. So I started to watch like other things, you know what I'm saying? But I did still catch it periodically. The show was actually pretty straight to me. I did kind of see where the vibe of the show changed, and it was kind of like a lot of tension, it felt like, between Skip and Shannon. And I do think that kind of like tarnished the show a little bit. I think at the same time, it did like bring a lot of viewers because motherfuckers want to hear what they're going to argue about today, what they going to, you know, how personal is it gonna get today? And I think that it kind of helped the show externally, but hurt the show internally. You know what I'm saying? I think that it did bring a lot more eyes and viewers to the show, but I think that level of combativeness that they used to have on a day in, day out, you know, daily basis, I think it kind of took a toll on Shannon. I think it's a good move for Shannon. At the same time, I think it may hurt Skip a little more than it will hurt Shannon, just because, you know, when Skip left Stephen A., I don't think that people envision that the Shannon and Skip being as good as Stephen A. and Skip. But I feel like when you had that chemistry between, like, Stephen A. and Shannon are those same kind of personalities where they're very boisterous. They're going to make sure that their point is heard. They definitely ain't backing down from no argument. And if it get to it, we can get, you know, a little jokey, you know, a tad bit disrespectful, how Skip used to get. And it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You know, what I'm saying? We can get back to it like that. Where I don't know if Shady is going to be like that. I think Shady might take it a little too far. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with Skip, it's easy to get like that because Skip gonna take it a little too far. But with it being Skip's show, I think they kind of give him the green light to do that. And I feel like ultimately that's what caused Shannon to leave, because every time Skip would disrespect him and Shannon would come back at him and he still end up coming back on the show, it kind of took some credibility away from like Shannon Sharpe as a person. You know what I'm saying? It kind of made it like, damn, you weak, you bowing down to the white man. We would hear people say this. We would hear Kwame Brown say this. We would hear my guy, damn, I can't remember his name, but he come on the Whitlock show. He used to play in the NBA. He got his own podcast now. Huh?
Steven Jackson?
No, not Steven Jack. What's my dude's name?
Damn, I can't remember his name. Show?
He come on Jason Whitlock's show now.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't remember buddy's name, but like we hear these other NBA and NFL like sports commentator talking heads, these former players, how they kind of downplay Shannon Sharpe now. And I think that's due to Skip downplaying Shannon Sharpe. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Shannon felt like in order for him to regain credibility of him being this Hall of Fame NFL player, he had to kind of separate himself from, you know what I'm saying, from the show. I feel like it's gonna be good for him. He has the Club Shay Shay podcast that does numbers on YouTube and actually does pretty well. So I think that that's something that he could pivot off of and kind of turn that into his own thing where it's his show and he could kind of dictate the conversation, the talking points, who he allows on, and he could kind of maintain that level of control where it's not like somebody's on here like possibly belittling him on a day in, day out basis.
Right. Because at the same time, it's like, you already know it's Skip's house. So, you moved into Skip's house, no matter what it is, you could buy all the groceries, you could pay all the bills,
right?
But your name is not on that mortgage.
Your name not on the lease. Yeah, your name not on the note.
Your name is not on that deed. So Skip always had that leverage over him, and for Shannon to be getting as big as he is, it gets tough to answer to people when you feel like you may be more talented, you may be more popping, and it may be your time. right? He may feel like, yo, Skip is really leeching off of me at this point, right?
Like,
Skip
I'm keeping
is
you alive
because of my buzz.
Right.
I mean, you saw
what Skip do without me.
You saw when Shannon started that podcast and it first blew up, what Skip turned around and did. There you go get Skip Bayless show. He went and started the podcast. So I mean, think about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's the new wave, and we see the success that Shannon has had. He's ready for the new wave, and I think Skip is gonna bless you, brother. So I think Skip is gonna wash away here soon, but I'm not on the team of wanting to, see Skip fail. If the show goes away, I'm not a LaShawn McCoy fan. I don't really care for watching LaShawn McCoy because I think that LaShawn is going to be reaching for takes, right? I think he's going to be trying to go viral. And when you try to go viral, you can really tell, right? You can be like, oh, man, this dude
it doesn't
really
come off as authentic.
Right. I don't know if he's going to come off as authentic because some of the things that he's already been saying has seemed a little forced to me. So he's really been trying to force a lot of narratives and stuff. And I don't think the masses have taken to it well. So I'm not sure what type of fit he will be. But it's interesting to see how they will pivot. Skip Bayless did talk about there was another format originally before Shannon was brought on. So they may go with a whole different format, man. But I did want to give them their flowers today for 7 years, of being battling with somebody. 7 years is a long time to sit across somebody 5 days a week for 7 years. So that's a long time, man. So salute to them guys for putting out that content. Now we're just stuck with ESPN in the morning right now. So, I work from home a lot, so I tap into this stuff. But I'll be watching more YouTube. So
that's what I was gonna say. I actually turned.
Is it any other shows on Fox? I mean, is it any other? I mean, I tried to watch the Colin Hurd show.
The Carson show. That show is trash. They got the Carson show, then they got the one that comes on in the afternoon, the Nick Wright one. First things first.
That just
that doesn't do it. So it may be the end of FS1, right? To me, because that was the show.
The one with what's the dude, that Nigerian dude that played in Shade? Like I tried to watch that,
and I talking about like what's that dude? He's a cornball. Sorry, he's a cornball brother.
Damn, I know who you're talking about.
You're talking about Samuel Acho. Emmanuel Acho. The other brother, Sam is the other one. Emmanuel Acho. Say Skip and Mad Dog, right? Be two yelling white men. Will please save me from two yelling white men? No.
His time to pass though, man.
That's Stephen A. did try him out. Stephen A. did give him some shine, but I'm not sure they're gonna bring him back next year. But interesting to see where Skip goes, man. I'm following Shannon, so wherever Shannon goes, I'm gonna tap in with Shannon because I feel like Shannon has a pulse on what's going on out here. So I think he's gonna be able to pivot with the times and still put out some good content. So, but fellas, we came to the end of the show, man. We are coming up on an hour and a half. We don't try to go long here. We try to go an hour and a half. We out of here. We fathers, we got stuff to do. So
you right about that.
Man, thank y'all for tapping in. Like, share, and subscribe. Man, once anybody that's watching, when you do catch this part later on tomorrow, when you're tapping in, like, share, and subscribe this, man, so this can get out to more people. We're only going to pick up steam from here. We're going to grow. We're going to do more as the football season start up, man. We're going to be in full swing. We're going to have content cranking out multiple videos a week. And I got my guys here, and y'all already see how they coming. My man, Big Bucks, Man, go ahead and sign off for the people, fellas.
Hey, man. Your boy Outlaw UOP, Sean J. Appreciate you having me. Big Bucks, man. Long time no speak, but we definitely gonna be conversating a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, college football almost here, man. I think it's the best time of the year, college and high school football. I'm excited to see what my team does on the high school level. Excited to see what my former team does on the high school level. Excited to see what the Georgia Bulldogs do. Baby, go Dogs. Man, excited to see what these Eagles gonna do, man. It's the best time of the year.
Man,
it's great.
Sorry about no damn Eagles, bruh. What?
It's great, man. It's a great time of the year. I appreciate you having me. Make sure y'all like, follow, comment, subscribe to my boy Sean J. Y'all check me out, Thought for Narcissist Podcast, Outlaw UOP on all social media, man. Hey, man, appreciate you having me, man. I'm ready to come back on and talk some more shit, man.
Hey, man, you guys are welcome. We're doing it. It's gonna be a drought going on. We're gonna take a little break after mandatory mini camp. But when things get back cracking, man, you guys know you're always welcome, first and foremost. Go ahead, Big Bucks. Big Bucks.
No doubt, man. Appreciate the invite once again. Good to hear my boy man. Good to hear from you, my boy. It's good to hear you doing your thing on the high school level, man. But I'll be remiss if I don't say this, man. Who y'all gonna see down there in South Georgia? You know I got this. You know where I'm
going. We actually played GOING4IT.
Yeah, that's
Colquitt County. Hey.
Okay,
depends. I'm not sure what happened with Colquitt after Rush Pro.
Colquitt is good as hell.
So they able to maintain that they fired Pro.
They still all his coaches run Moultrie, Valdosta, and Lions. Like a piece of them still there.
Yeah, the coach at Colquitt now used to coach at Carrollton, but they got a wide receiver committed to UGA. They got a tight end who was committed to UGA who just flipped to Florida State. They got some guys. They got some guys down there for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, man, cool with the break, man. I hope this expands and gets bigger, man, as we get closer to the season. Looking forward to more conversations with y'all, man. College football is around the way, man. And I wouldn't be remiss if I say this. The hell with Georgia, man. It's about them Noles all day. I've been waiting to say that the whole time. Hey, this go back to DHL. This go back to DHL.
Yes, sir, man. Go Noles. Hey, man. Hey, YouTube, like our bag is so deep. I don't really think people really understand our bag because we'll get into just this NFC South talking about the Falcons all the time, man. Our bag is deep. Like we go to NFL, we can go NBA, we can go player for player. Like we really do this. So tap in with your boys, man. We here, we about to do it, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you everybody for sticking with the crew as we had technical difficulty to start. But hey, tap in because it's about to go up, man. It's your boy Sean J. I'm out. Big Bucks. Ooh-wah. We'll be back until next time. Peace, fellas. Yes, sir.